I've been doing shadow work for over 3 years now, and I'm going to share with you 3 life-changing secrets that are going to save you time, money, and make your shadow work go 10 times faster and be more effective. And all of that in only 6 minutes. Let's go! Wait. Maybe I'm just getting a little ahead of myself. Maybe you're wondering, John, what even is shadow work? Well, the simple version is that shadow work is a way of finding the parts of you that are trying to sabotage your life and ruin it, make it awful, make it boring. These are like the parts of you that are like, oh, you're such a bad person. Oh, you're not very smart. Oh, they're not gonna like you, so you shouldn't even go talk to them. You're just so uncool. Or something like that. Okay, now let's go. Now, the hardest part of shadow work is my very first tip for what you need to figure out in the first place. And that's what's even sabotaging your life in the first place. I mean, it can be very hard to figure out what's causing all these problems that you've been experiencing for years. And that's kind of the problem, is that you've been experiencing it for years. It's probably hiding in plain sight and you can't even see it anymore. It's not like playing a video game where the monster just jumps out at you and you suddenly recognize exactly what's going on. Sometimes a lot more subtle of a thing. There is one thing, though, that can help you figure out exactly what's going on. Now, where is that shiny elephant? And that is emotions. Emotions are a chance to target and catch the shadows that are ruining your life. Emotions are always connected to an old belief. And shadow work is all about taking those old beliefs that are no longer serving you and changing them into a positive belief that will work a lot better for you. If you find an intense emotion popping up like anger or guilt or shame or loneliness, any of those are huge red flags. That's probably time to do some shadow work. That you could identify what belief is behind that emotion and make a substantial change in your life and how you think and feel. Okay, but how do you actually do that? Well, let's start by talking about what I used to do that didn't work out for me. And you'll figure out what works out for you. What I used to do is, I used to actually talk about it. And I think that's the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, is talking about their shadow or their limiting beliefs. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to talk about it. Talking with a friend or a therapist or a coach can help you create awareness about what's going on, what beliefs are holding you back, and it's a great way to unpack the feelings. Journaling is another fantastic tool that you can use to help find that belief. I recommend writing a letter to your future self and just try to explain what you're feeling and thinking as best as you can. If you only talk about what the belief is or the story behind it, well, then you're kind of missing the point. Now, where were we, Dr. Fampy? Oh, that's right. The other day when I was working out, my NLP coach told me something incredibly important. He told me that you didn't talk your way into this problem, so why do you think you're going to talk your way out of the problem? Made sense. You see, you need to create experiences because that's actually the way that your brain works. It learns through experiences a lot faster than it does through talking or lecturing. So you want to identify what beliefs you want, and then pick some actions that are going to reinforce what you want to feel and believe. Experiences are by far the most important part of doing shadow work. Do you want to believe that you are strong? Well, then grab a pair of weights and start lifting. It's just 15 pounds. It's really not that heavy, I promise it's not that heavy. Or do you want to believe that you're not that shy, wimpy kid that you used to be anymore? Well, then imagine someone that has the confidence that you want, and whatever life situation you're in, imagine what they would do instead of you, and then do it. Now, it's gonna feel a little awkward at first, but that's okay. But let's say that's too hard. Let's try something else instead. I want you to try visualizing. Create a vivid image in your mind of who you want to be. Imagine what a day in the life of that version of you would be like. Try to make this visualization as intense as possible, as much emotion as you can throw in it as possible, because that's going to actually change how quickly your brain picks up on it. So the more emotion you can throw into it, the better. You want it to feel like it's actually happening to you, like it's real. Do this once a day for 7 days. And then I want you to start taking action towards what you would want to do if you were that person. In fact, you might find that you start to do it on your own without any additional prompting. Okay, now I have to do some on this side because this side feels neglected. The last mistake is something we're all gonna run into eventually. If you accept this lesson sooner, it's gonna save you a lot of guilt and shame down the road. We're all on a journey of self-discovery. We're all trying to do everything all at once. But the reality is we can't do everything all at once. So that's why one of my lessons here is that there are some seasons for shadow work and some are meant for relaxing, having fun with your friends. If you're doing a lot of shadow work, I recommend intentionally taking a break from time to time. It's okay to not work on it for a day or a week or even a month. Set a time on your calendar to remind you when it's time to return back to doing shadow work. Or you could even just set a time on your calendar to do it weekly. If you section off shadow work into small blocks, like 30 minutes or an hour on a particular day, it's a lot more easy to avoid that burnout process that a lot of people fall into, which is going to help you get the most done in the shortest amount of time, especially if you're doing this all on your own. But what if you don't want to do this on your own? Well, then you're in luck. Currently, I have some availability on my schedule, and we can schedule a free session for you on my Calendly link down in the description. So today we've learned about 3 of the most important tips for shadow work. Number 1, find the emotions. Number 2, don't just talk, act. And number 3, take some breaks from time to time or set a consistent schedule for when you're going to do it. Don't do it all the time. If you're ready for some more helpful tips about shadow work, check out this video next.